With Brent Budowsky for the entire hour, who is a brilliant, brilliant man, who knows how Washington works and has worked inside Washington for so long. But, you know, the thing that makes him unique is that not only is he brilliant, as a lot of people in Washington are, but he is very passionate about these issues, which is rare and beautiful to hear from a Washington insider. So he actually has been authoring an enormous amount of essays on all the things that you would want to know. Why are they doing this? And so for the first half of the hour, we're going to discuss Iraq, and on the second side of it, we're going to talk about this cruelty of that was been perpetrated on Americans who only wanted a slice of the American dream with home ownership, and how the banks knew that, you know, making these teaser rate loans and these lowball loans might, you know, hurt them in the short term, but that we would bail them out in the long term. And what a lose-lose situation that turned out to be for the middle class. But now I wanted Brent to address Al-Anbar province. Now, on the one hand, I was watching the debate that George Stephanopoulos hosted on his Sunday show, and Hillary actually explained that Al-Anbar province was a success because Americans left Al-Anbar province. A truce was reached between us and the insurgents who had been previously killing us. We pulled our troops out of Al-Anbar, and that province began to remove the Al-Qaeda element and create security for itself. Why is the escalation then used as a tool for Democrats to now say, look at Al-Anbar, that's a military success, when really what we did was leave there?
Well, the truth of the matter is that if Democrats make a decision individually or collectively, they do not want to fight over the issue, which many have. What they do is they find an excuse. The excuse of the week is Anbar. We've had other excuses. Remember when they lifted up the purple finger after a vote? All the vote did was ratify a sectarian government. It was very predictable. The problem with Anbar, and what's important here is clarity. Number one, it has absolutely nothing to do with the surge.
Right.
It's not related to that at all.
No.
You could have done it without the surge.
In fact, we left there. That's what created a more stable environment there.
Exactly. Number two, what they did do, and I oppose it, and I'm one of the few in the Democratic security establishment or the Republicans who says this with clarity, we gave arms to Sunni insurgents who were killing Americans a month before.
Right.
If there is no political solution in Iraq, and if you believe, as I believe, that the government of Iraq cannot, even if Maliki is removed, cannot reach an agreement because they are so corrupted with their own sectarian rivalries, if you believe that, all of the money and weapons that we are giving to the Sunni insurgents in Iraq today will ultimately be used to kill Shiites in a long-term sectarian war or to kill Americans. And given where we are, if you believe there will not be a political solution, which is what I believe on the current policy, then we're going to be in a situation where they will be coming back, Bush, in a year, in 10 years, and in 100 years. We can never leave because there will be genocide when we do. And the more arms we give to both sides, and right now we're giving Sunni insurgents aid directly, we're giving the Shiites directly through the government, we're arming both sides of a war and escalating both sides of a war. And yeah, if you give everybody arms that was killing us, they'll stop killing us and take our arms and take our money. Now, of course they're going to do it. The question comes in, well, what happens if there's no political solution? Are we there forever? Or do they end up using those arms against us or against the Shiites, which is what I predict will someday happen? It's a dead-end policy based on a bad premise.
And the only thing that seems to ever work is if you look at Al-Anbar and you use that as your example, then use that as your example. That example shows us that when we leave and we say, we've reached a truce, you don't kill us, we won't attack you, they go about the business of ridding their tribal communities of non-known people. They get rid of the strangers that are causing mayhem among them, and they restore their own security for themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
So
and that's the
withdrawal actually works.
That's the problem. And so to use the Anbar to keep the escalation going is exactly the opposite of what they ought to be doing. And by the way, to bring together the first part of our hour today and the second part, what they ought to do right now is a 10 to 15% profits tax on oil companies and others that profit from the war. Take that money and give it to wounded troops and American homeowners.
And that's what we will talk about, the American homeowner and the amount of money we are wasting when we come back.
The Randi Rhodes Show. Radio. Only smarter. This is Air America Radio.